Here are the top stories for today, October 18, 2021. 3 more provinces shift to the more relaxed general community quarantine as the country continues to see a downtrend in COVID-19 infections. Better numbers, a group projects the number of daily COVID-19 cases to dip to between 5,000 to 6,000 by the end of October. Other indicators continue to improve as the country ramps up vaccination efforts. The government is working double time to rehabilitate Marawi City. President Rodrigo Duterte made this assurance in leading the commemoration of the 4th anniversary of the city's liberation from mounted terrorists. And tribute to a legend, the Philippine Postal Corporation, or PhilPost, unveiled special commemorative stamps featuring PBA superstar and former Senator Robert Jawo. Good day, I am William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Bulacan, Apayao, and Aklan eased to the general community quarantine status effective today until the end of the month. Presidential spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque made the announcement following the easing of restrictions in Metro Manila from Alert Level 4 to Alert Level 3. Bulacan Governor Daniel Fernando earlier appealed for a lower quarantine status from its previous MECQ status. He said the province has posted a 64% drop in the number of COVID-19 cases from August to September and a 97% recovery rate as of October 13. Capiz also eases from its previous GCQ status with heightened restrictions, as well as Apayao after it reports a decrease in the number of COVID-19 cases and hospital utilization rate. More people flock to some public spaces in Metro Manila as the region eases from Alert Level 4 to Alert Level 3. Under the Alert Level 3, all fully vaccinated individuals can now enjoy going to the cinemas, theaters, theme parks, swimming pools, libraries, museums, tourist attractions, and venues for social gatherings like weddings, parties, and debuts, as these establishments are allowed to operate up to 30% of its indoor venue capacity and 50% in outdoor areas. DILG Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya reminds the public not to be complacent amid the gradual reopening of some establishments.
Sana po umiral ang disiplina, no? Na wag po tayong magkumpul-kumpulan at lagi po nating susundin yung minimum public health standards gaya ng paggagamit ng face mask, face shield.
Meanwhile, Malaya says more business establishments are applying for the government Safety Seal certification program as this would further expand their operation.
Kung meron silang safety seal na galing sa ating pamahalaan ay meron karagdagang operational capacity. So, madami-dami na po ang nag-apply nito. 86,159 establishments have applied. Out of this number, 45,649 ay naaprubahan po ng iba't ibang government agency. At meron naman po mga na-deny. 9,794 were denied. So hindi po yun automatic. Kung hindi po papasok sa pamantayan ng safety seal ay hindi po talaga mabibigyan ng safety seal certification.
Health authorities are quick to point out that the gradual easing of the economy must still be accompanied by strict implementation of the health protocols, especially with the ongoing fight against the COVID-19 Delta variant. Epidemiologist Dr. Edsel Salvania also emphasized the importance of getting vaccinated as the government is trying to balance health and the economy. Such as going to cinemas, he said it is a must that only vaccinated individuals will be allowed to enter and proper health protocols must be observed at all times.
Understanding naman natin dito is magbababa tayo ng alert level dahil medyo nakakahinga na ng konti. Ngunit madaling bumalik yan kung hindi po tayo mag-iingat. Yung pinakamalaking insurance talaga natin dito is yung mataas na rate ng pagbabakuna dito sa NCR. Ngunit alam naman natin ang nag-circulate na strain talaga dito sa ating bansa ay Delta na. So, kailangan po talaga ibalanse natin habang nagbubukas tayo, kinakailangan tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung ating minimum public health standards at kung hindi pa po kayo nababakunaan, magpabakuna na po kayo.
The Octa Research Group says the country may see a drop of 5,000 to 6,000 COVID-19 cases by the end of October. In an interview, Octa fellow Guido David said the reported 10,000 daily cases is only temporary because of the backlog, but the trend is declining. David noted that the reproduction number nationwide is at 0.64 and the 7-day average of cases is at 8,400. Citing the latest information from the Department of Health, David said the hospitalization utilization rate in the National Capital Region has gone down to 47%, although intensive care unit utilization rate remained high at 59%. NCR's 7-day average of COVID-19 cases is 1,681, while the positivity rate is at 10%. The business sector is proposing to ease restrictions for domestic travelers visiting major tourist destinations in the country. Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion said the private sector is in talks with the local government units of Aklan, Bohol, Cebu, Palawan, Siargao, and the rest of the top tourist destinations to exempt fully vaccinated travelers from presenting RT-PCR test results upon arrival. Cebu Province, except for Cebu City, is no longer requiring visitors to present RT-PCR tests starting this month. Concepcion said this has been requested by airline companies. He also said that the private sector received positive responses from governors and mayors. Getting more Sinovac jabs is one of the government's best decisions. This is stressed by Go Negosyo founder and presidential advisor for entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion, saying Sinovac did the country a lot of good during the start of the immunization program in March. Concepcion said that while many people criticized the efficacy of Sinovac, many would have been infected with COVID-19 had the government not brought in the Chinese vaccine and waited for other brands to arrive. He emphasized that all vaccine brands are proven to give protection against severe COVID-19 cases and prevent hospitalization and even death. As of October 12, Sinovac vaccines comprise 41.5 million of the total 87,690,960 doses that have been delivered. Pfizer followed at 21,037,770 and AstraZeneca with 10,256,540. Vaccines administered have reached 51,482,063 as of October 15. Still to come, the president calls on candidates of the ruling party PDP Laban stick to the party's principles and help ensure clean and orderly polls. And an international lender cites the role of the country's national ID system in achieving digital transformation. Details ahead. This is the PNA Newsroom. The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly changed our lives for the worse. Lives and jobs were lost and economies reached a meltdown. Thanks to the arrival of safe and effective vaccines, we are one step closer to normalcy. It's time to do our part, get vaccinated for our safety and for our recovery.
If you are there in that community, go there and have yourself vaccinated by any of the vaccines available. They are all potent, they are all effective.
I would like to appeal to all our kababayans, please get vaccinated against COVID-19 and be the government partner in preventing further spread of the disease. I encourage you to get vaccinated as soon as possible time. These vaccines are safe and they are the key to reopening our society. The need for international solidarity and cooperation cannot be made clearer than this pandemic, because everyone is safe. No one is safe globally until everybody is safe.
vaccines work. President Rodrigo Duterte is urging the candidates running under the PDP Laban to stick to the principles and aspirations of the party. He also asks them to ensure the integrity of the election next year despite the challenges. In his speech during the oath-taking of new party members and proclamation of local PDP Laban candidates at the Iligan Medical Center College in Iligan City, President Duterte said the political party's mission is to improve the lives of the Filipino people. He also reminds party candidates to remain good leaders that the people deserve.
It is my hope that all of you will stand by the PDP's Laban's principles and aspirations throughout the campaign period and on election day and beyond. I urge you to ensure the integrity of the elections for your respective positions despite the challenges that you may face. I am confident that our candidates have the competence, integrity, and dedication that our people are looking for in a public servant. Keep in mind that our victory will not only be ours, but more importantly, to the nation.
The government is doing its best to expedite the completion of rehabilitation projects in Marawi City and remain steadfast in securing the country from terrorism and violent extremism. During the commemoration of the 4th anniversary of the liberation of Marawi City, President Rodrigo Duterte recognized the sacrifice and bravery of soldiers and police personnel who fought for several months to defeat the Islamic State-linked mounted terrorist group who occupied the city. He also commended the hard work of the Task Force Bangon Marawi to accomplish the programs under the Bangon Marawi Comprehensive Rehabilitation and Recovery Program. During the said event, Marawi residents received certificates of title for permanent housing units from the National Housing Authority or NHA and financial assistance from the Cooperative Development Authority, among others. President Duterte also inspected the newly constructed Jawo Mindanao Al-Islami or the Grand Mosque, which is considered the biggest house of worship in Marawi City. President Rodrigo Duterte personally attends to the launching of the newly constructed Grand Mosque in Marawi 4 years after the government started its rehabilitation of the city. The details from Claire Gighe.
The rehabilitation of destructed mosques has been one of the top priorities of the government, believing that these play a great role in the lives of our Muslim brothers and sisters in Marawi City. The Grand Mosque is the 5th place of worship in the city that the government has repaired with the help of private donors. As mandated by President Duterte, Task Force Bangon Marawi or TFBM made sure to rehabilitate the damaged mosque with the belief that this can help the residents to recover.
This place holds historical and cultural significance in the lives of the Maranaos. We rejoice as a nation as the Grand Mosque of Marawi brings hope anew to our Muslim brothers and sisters.
This is a manifestation of the total commitment of the national, the local government, and the local leaders in Marawi City to ensure that the masjid is being given focus by the national government as a way of a very vital component in the Marawi rehabilitation.
This was the Grand Mosque before the siege, and when it was already stricken after 5 months of firefight between the government and the mounted terrorist group. The government strived to repair this until it finally stood once again. A beautiful, huge, and recognized as a world-class mosque. To recall, 4 mosques have already been inaugurated, including the Masjid Sumangkap in Barangay Daguduban, Masjid Darussalam in Barangay Raya Madaya, Marinaot Mosque in Barangay West Marinaot, and White Mosque in Barangay Lumbaca Madaya. For PNA Newsroom, Claire Gigha of the Philippine Information Agency, Lanao del Sur.
The government is now realizing the right of tribal communities in Tagum City, Davao del Norte to have decent shelter. Over 3,000 indigenous peoples received their notices of award from the National Housing Authority and Tagum LGU through the City Housing and Land Management Office on October 14. The IPs found their new home at the Masandag Tribal Village. The 80 million peso resettlement project is a 16-year-long dream of the members of cultural communities in Tagum City who are considered original settlers. Tagum City Mayor Alan Rellion said each household would only have to pay 300 pesos monthly for 5 years to get their certificate of land title. Meanwhile, 248 Tagumeños also received their notices of award and transfer certificate of titles. Zamboanga del Sur now has 4 Barangay Development Program projects which are funded by the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict. 4 road construction and concreting projects worth 20 million pesos each are underway in Purok 1, Barangay San Jose, Lapuyan, Purok 2 to Purok 4 in Barangay Concepcion, San Miguel, Barangay Datagan, Gipos, Purok 2 to Purok 4 in Barangay Gasa, Lakewood. Governor Victor Yu, the Provincial Task Force LCAC chairperson, said the road project showed that the government is finally addressing the concerns of the community. Lieutenant Colonel Joar Herrera, the Army's 53rd Infantry Battalion commander, meanwhile said BDP projects will sustain peace initiatives in Zamboanga del Sur through the delivery of basic services such as health, education, and jobs. A World Bank official has hailed the implementation of the Philippine Identification System, or PhilSys, for bringing in milestones for the country's social protection and digital transformation. India Diop, World Bank Country Director for Brunei, Malaysia, Philippines, and Thailand, said PhilSys can help Philippines revive the economy and get back on track in poverty eradication. Diop noted that the PhilSys project is crucial in trying times such as the COVID-19 pandemic, where massive social protection coverage is needed. He said success in utilizing PhilSys for social protection has a significant effect in accelerating digital transformation among government agencies and even the private sector. Diop cited that acquiring a PhilID card will provide Filipinos with seamless access to financial transactions. Recently, the Philippine Statistics Authority and the Department of Social Welfare and Development announced an agreement pushing for the adoption of PhilSys in social welfare programs. Up next, poverty alleviation programs gain ground in a small community in Cebu thanks to a former teacher turned volunteer. And the Philippine Postal Corporation honors a pillar of Philippine basketball through the commemorative stamp collection. Back after a quick break, stay with the PNA Newsroom.
Ito ang Fast 5. Mayroon tayong 5 minuto para tanungin ang mga eksperto tungkol sa COVID-19.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Anna Ong Lim and I'm with the DOH Technical Advisory Group.
Anong mga sintomas ng COVID-19 ang pwede i-treat sa bahay?
So napakagandang tanong. Ang mga mild symptoms, pinakakaraniwan pa rin siya sa mga nararamdaman ng mga taong nagpa-positive sa COVID-19. Kasama na dito yung lagnat, ubo, sipon, pananakit ng katawan, yung iba nagtatae. Pinaka-importante talaga is bantayan yung hirap sa paghinga kasi once sumumpong na yon, hindi na natin pwedeng sabihin mild and definitely kailangan na siguro nila makita sa ospital o makita ng kanilang doktor.
Paano natin malalaman kung pwede tayo mag-home isolation?
Magandang mapag-usapan ng home isolation kasi lalo na ngayon, maraming mga taong nasa mga TTMFs or quarantine facilities or even sa hospital. And for as long as yung ating pamamahay ay may sariling lugar or isang silid na kung saan pwedeng mamalagi yung may sakit, and mas maganda rin sana na may sarili siyang magagamit na banyo.
Ano naman ang pwede kong gawin kung meron akong lagnat?
Ang lagnat ng COVID is not any different kumpara dun sa lagnat na nadala ng ibang sakit. Kino-consider natin na may lagnat na ang isang tao pagka ang kanyang temperatura ay 37.5 pataas. Now, typically, kung meron tayong lagnat, iniinuman lang naman natin to ng paracetamol. Karaniwan, isang tableta tuwing ika-4 hanggang ika-6 na oras.
Ano naman ang home treatment para sa sore throat?
Ang sore throat, karaniwan, ginagamot lang natin yan using supportive care. So tulad na lang ng saline gargles or pagmumog no, ng water na may konting asin, o kaya pwede ring gumamit ng mga menthol preparations or menthol candies para lang medyo maibsan yung pananakit ng lalamunan.
Ano naman ang warning signs ng paglala ng mga sintomas?
Ang pinaka-importanting bantayan sa mga simptomas na lumalala na related to COVID-19 is really yung hirap sa paghinga. Pwede rin yun na rin na magdala nung confusion, pwede rin yung mga simptomas tulad ng sobrang panghihina kasi halos hindi na makakain, hindi makainom, no? So yung mga ganong klaseng signs, kailangan siyang masubaybayan ng healthcare professional.
Paano ko naman maiiwasang mahawaan ang mga kasama ko sa bahay?
Pinaka-importante dun sa iisipin natin pag tayo nag-isolate is dapat talaga nakabukod tayo sa ibang tao. So, dun lang tayo sa ating silid, dun na tayo kakain, hindi na tayo lalabas hanggang makatapos ng 10 araw. Now, kung tayo naman ay nasa isang lugar na shared bathroom pa rin ang ating ginagamit, sana yung surfaces ng banyo, tulad nung yung doorknobs, yung faucet, yung pinaka-surface ng lababo, at saka yung pinag-upuan natin sa inidoro, pupunasan muna natin yan bago natin iwanan ng banyo para yung susunod na gagamit, hindi naman mahawaan ng ating mga secretions o yung mga tilamsik ng ating laway kung sakasakalit naman ay tayo ang gumamit ng banyo.
Sino po ang pwedeng kausapin kung may karagdagang mga tanong pa ako?
Maraming resources sa ating mga communities at napakaraming health workers na handang tumulong. No? So unang-una na siguro doon yung ating mga BHERTs, no? Sila naman ay naabisuhan, o yung mga midwives or nurses sa ating community, even our local health center physicians, they're always ready to help us with our questions.
Maraming salamat, Doc Ana. May mga paalala pa po ba kayo?
Karamihan pa rin naman sa mga kababayan natin nagpa-positive for COVID ay nabibilang dun sa mild and asymptomatic category. So, mukha namang kaya, no? Most of the time, nababantayan itong ating mga kapamilya within the home. Ang importante lang, siguro, habang maaga, meron ng link to telemedicine o kaya nakausap natin yung ating mga barangay or community healthcare workers para kung sakasakalit medyo lumala yung lagay ng ating kapamilya ay nakaset up na kung anong susunod nating gagawin. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat and mag-ingat po tayo.
Bida Solusyon Plus laban sa COVID-19.
You're still watching the PNA Newsroom. A former school teacher turned volunteer is inspiring beneficiaries of a poverty alleviation program in San Remigio, Northern Cebu. 75-year-old Wenina Rosaliosa is a volunteer of the DSWD Kapit Bisig Laban sa Kahirapan Comprehensive and Integrated Delivery of Social Services or Kalahi SIDS in Barangay Kanagahan. Nanay Weni, as known by her neighbors, advocates volunteerism through which the development that a community dreams of becomes possible. Kanagahan recently received its farm-to-market road in Purok Bayabas through the anti-poverty program. Nanay Weni's vision for development as a way of life became a reality that helped students go to school and farmers deliver their products to the market with ease. Because of her high sense of volunteerism, she became an inspiration to other members of the volunteer group to see the goodness and benefits of the Kalahi SIDS. In our news overseas, the number of weekly reported deaths from COVID-19 continues to decline worldwide and is now at the lowest level in almost a year. The World Health Organization last Wednesday reported that Burundi, Eritrea, and North Korea are the only countries left that have not started vaccinating. WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus said deaths are declining in every region except Europe, where several countries face fresh waves of cases and deaths. Ghebreyesus, however, said the death toll is still unacceptably high at almost 50,000 deaths per week. He added that deaths are highest in the countries and populations with the least access to vaccines. Ghebreyesus appealed anew to countries and companies to prioritize supply to COVAX and the African Vaccine Acquisition Trust. He said the WHO and its partners are working with countries to strengthen technical and logistical capacities to roll out vaccines. The Philippine Postal Corporation has unveiled a special commemorative stamp series featuring PBA legend Robert Jaworski Sr. PhilPost launched on Saturday the 9-stamp series with pictures of him playing during his prime days in the 70s and the 80s. Dodot Jaworski thanked PhilPost for honoring his father as one of the country's legends. The unveiling of the new stamps is part of PhilPost's tribute to Philippine sports heroes as the agency celebrates the 75th anniversary of the issuance of the first mail stamp in the Philippines. PhilPost previously released stamps honoring Tokyo Olympic medalists Heidelin Diaz, Nesty Petesio, Carlo Paalam, and Yumir Marshall. The Food and Nutrition Research Institute has introduced the new variant of Enhanced Nutribun or e-Nutribun with sweet potato as the main ingredient. The new variant is a source of potassium, zinc, protein, energy, and natural fiber with a sweet and milky taste. Department of Science and Technology Secretary Fortunato de la Peña said the e-Nutribun was developed to help alleviate malnutrition aggravated by the COVID-19 pandemic. The e-Nutribun will help address the nutrient gaps among children through supplementary feeding programs. This will provide additional income to farmers in the regions and business opportunities. Earlier, the FNRI launched e-Nutribun with squash and e-Nutribun with carrots. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. 3 more provinces shift to the more relaxed general community quarantine as the country continues to see a downtrend in COVID-19 infections. Better numbers, a group projects the number of daily COVID-19 cases to dip to between 5,000 to 6,000 by the end of October. Other indicators continue to improve as the country ramps up vaccination efforts. The government is working double time to rehabilitate Marawi City. President Rodrigo Duterte made this assurance in leading the commemoration of the 4th anniversary of the city's liberation from mounted terrorists. And tribute to a legend, the Philippine Postal Corporation or PhilPost unveiled special commemorative stamps featuring PBA superstar and former Senator Robert Jaworski. As Filipinos, we all have a vital role to play in preventing the spread of COVID-19. So remember, wear your face masks and face shields, wash your hands often, practice safe physical distancing, go out only for essential reasons, and get vaccinated as soon as possible to protect ourselves, our families, and the community. Together, we can beat COVID-19. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. For more news content, check our webpage or log on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies, Also, watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And it is 68 more days to go before Christmas Day. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, we tell stories that inspire change. I am William Teo. Good day.